I love all the tweets that are coming out of this. This is amazing. Um, we're loving GitHub, said I. I set it up to read a local markdown file for a PR description, then I create PR via terminal and chain a second command to auto merge if all my checks pass. Yeah, the GitHub CLI is really cool. I also considered adding a pull request template to this project. So the Android template repo I made comes with a pull request template that I really like, but I never added it to this. I do want to do another stream eventually of like additional developer experience stuff because we added KT Land Detect, GitHub Actions. I think there's more stuff to be added to this project that I would really like um, to get to. I really hope that we can start like a weekday streams sooner rather than later. Um, so let's. So while we're waiting on GitHub to do its thing, um, let's go down that UI rabbit hole that I was thinking about, which was like hide logo when focused. So I was thinking about the classic problem we've been running into. Oh, well, it's here. Of like when I click on email and password, they're hidden by the keyboard a little bit. And one solution I've seen some apps do in the past is like removing content when you have inputs that's focused. Um, what's the word? So um, you create more space. Thank you. That I don't know what was so hard about that. So I think we could try something like that. We could have it when like email or password are focused that we hide this app logo. So let's do that. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we need to know is, oh, SHM, thank you for the follow. I'm glad that Captain America can get some new follows. Um, so we have our own text field here, and we have some callbacks that were added, but we don't have like a focus state changed callback. So we should add that as like an optional thing. You know, we could say like on focus changed. This would be, what does it look like here? Can I set focus on this? Oh, Mocker with the subscription. Thank you, Mocker. 2 months, so you should have a little gingerbread next to your name in chat now. Um, do try it out. Thank you for the sub. Really appreciate it. Um, I think if we want to do something with modifiers, actually, I'm gonna get merge conflicts because I think one of my PRs added a focus modifier. Oh no, we added a relocation requester thing. Um, oh, you have a founder badge, even better than getting a cupcake or a gingerbread. Um, so what do we do here? So, does anyone know the difference between on focus changed and on focus event? I'm gonna click into that. Add a map to observe focus state events. Okay, on focus changed. What is the difference? Add this modifier to a component to observe focus state events. It's invoked when the focus state changes. Hmm. I don't know the difference between a focused on focus change and on focus event. Oh, it looks like it does some deduping of the focus state. So it sounds like it's possible for on focus event to trigger the same state twice. Weird, but okay. But on focus change checks for like something to actually be different. So I think that's what we want here. And this takes a focus state. So um, what we want is, so we want our text field to take in a focus state unit callback. And then this can default to just like an empty lambda. Sorry. Hi, muted my mic in time. Um, and so then here we'll pass that same callback into our modifier. So now we have a way for our custom text field to respond to focus events. So the next thing we need to do is then have those focus events um, go into the view model. So if we open up our login view model, um, there's like two ways we could write this. Um, we could have like a function for like on email focused, on password focused, but I'm actually kind of tempted to be like, let's just say like an input was focused. So like on input focused, and then have that consume a focus state. Although I'm a little iffy about this. Okay, so let's talk about why we're iffy about this. Focus state is a compose class. And do we want our view model to consume a focus state? Probably not. Um, we could have it just consume like a Boolean. Um, hmm. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Like, um, how we want to handle this. I almost feel like I should have gone a step further and figured out, well, how are we going to model this on our view state? Um, let's go with it for now. I think we can probably change it later. But we need to talk about also how this gets modeled on our view state. So if we look at right, so we've got login view state.active, right? And hmm, I actually just had an idea that would clean this up. Let's So I had an idea, which was if we're in the active state, hide um the image. But I guess that's not quite enough because I want to go into the focus state. Or yeah, I guess I want to do what ES said. When I'm focused, I want to go into the active state. Um, but I was thinking specifically around like, well, I mean, what if I'm focused and then I get rid of focus? Do I want like, which I guess, whoops, oh hey, that crashes because we have a to-do statement. Like I'm wondering if I want to make it so that if I lose focus, does the image come back? You know? Back to lurking. Have fun, Prince. Thanks for hanging out and getting that great screenshot. I'm sure it will make its way around the interwebs. Um, so, hmm, just thinking. Although I kind of like, what if we did, um, like, what if we just made this smaller? Would that look really bad? If we just made, how big is that image? Whoops. Like, am I overcomplicating things? Where is, so, okay, so we have it fill like 75% of the screen, and then we make it like square. What if I made this, like, I just want to play around with this. What if I did something like this? If I make it smaller, is it going to look weird? That will be a good question. Um, let's see if any of our pull requests have finished building. Nice. We can merge this and we can merge our documentation. Ah, conflicts, classic. Oh, this might be a little tricky to resolve here. Arc diagram is this one. Oh god. Okay, hold on. Wait, no, let's go back. Basically, I want to take this and put it down here. I've actually never used SQLite. I've only ever used Room. Um, I really like it a lot, but I've heard a lot of really good things about SQLite. I would like to try it out one day, um, and like be able to give you a real answer. Um, I think some people like SQLite because it's Uh, I don't know if it can or it's on the roadmap to support like Kotlin multi-platform, and it does some cool stuff where like you can unit test SQLite without needing to run on an emulator, unlike Room where you need to run an emulator with a real SQLite database. So that's like a potential benefit of SQLite. But I haven't used it. Okay, and now I am going to use my administrator privileges and squash and merge this because I'm sure it will still pass. I mean, Room is kind of like that now at this point. Um, it's a lot of magic. For this merge conflict, I want to. Oh, okay. This doesn't. Oh, The problem with just this approach is still that I have like those spacers. Okay, let's commit this real quick, but I'm gonna come back to this. Um, Or maybe I should just ignore. I feel like if I focus too hard on this login behavior, I'm never going to be able to move on. But also I want to be able to have a good login screen so I can just never decide. Um, let's check out development pull. Let's check out this branch pull. Let's merge. And let's deal with the merge conflicts here in Android Studio. Dark magic. Wait, which one did you not know? Or oh, you did not know about SQLite? Yeah, it's built by Square, I think, or like one of those libraries that does a ton of open source stuff. So like you know it's good. Um, Always high quality stuff out of that company. Well, mostly, you know. Not so sure. I'm just kidding. It's always high quality stuff. I was gonna tease Matt, but that's not fair. Matt makes high quality stuff. I mean, the stranglehold that Square has on the Android open source community. Like I was talking to someone the other day about how like retrofit hardly counts as a third party library because it's such like a de facto standard, and I'm pretty sure that Google documentation tells you to use retrofit for networking. Like they've just never bothered to rewrite like their own networking client. Oh god, that's a word I haven't heard in a while. So let's let's make sure that stream history is accurate now with this one. Um, it's funny because it's true. Um, yeah. Uh, so okay, I am going to wait for this pull request to actually run, um, because I want to make sure with all those merge conflicts I didn't break anything. And I think I don't know. What do we want to do tonight, chat? Do we're still going strong. We're still hanging out. Um, do we want to keep fine graining the login screen, or do we want to consider? We wanted to work on edge to edge UI last week. I had like a time crunch of like 15 minutes, and we did not get it to work. Do we want to try to go back to edge UI and the login screen and dealing with that, and see if we can actually get something to work today? Um, do you know what company? All right, here's the crazy one. Do you guys know what company has an open source WebSocket library for Android that you would not expect to open source a WebSocket library? Granted, I love open source, so I'm not teasing the people who worked on this tool, but just that like there is a brand name that has a WebSocket library. We use it at Capsule that I never expected. It is Match, or more specifically, Tinder. Tinder has a WebSocket library called Scarlet. We used it at Capsule because we needed something for WebSockets, and it's like built on top of OKHTTP. And like I don't know, like it's again, they have incredible engineers there. I've met some of them. They do really cool stuff. But it's just like when you Google WebSocket libraries, oh, you haven't missed Captain America. He's still here. When you Google like WebSocket libraries, I didn't expect Tinder to come up in the search results. Um, yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, Trax redeemed it. Um, so we got to hang out for a while. I got to make sure Trax gets his channel points worth. But we're just thinking about what we want to do next. I kind of want to get. Oh yeah, I definitely want to get this current PR merged in. Oh wait, or like for this branch because this branch also made some typography updates, and I feel like this would be a good starting point to play around with UI stuff again. Um, Yep, that's the library. See, track sings out a lot. It's a lot of points. I lowered it from the very first point. Um, they have an event library too. I don't know about that one. That sounds interesting. Oh, you know what we could do? We could also do some composed testing. We haven't done any composed testing yet for this app. Um, yeah, so our typography changed in this pull request so that the password input looks better. Well, we did like a dash, and then we also changed like the. Oh, you still can't see it so much on the screen, but it's not. Yeah, like we could do some UI testing, um, which we have not done yet for this project. The to do and the readme. Let me see it. I missed it. Oh, it's just a random to do that's still sitting there. That's really funny. Oh my god, that's really funny. More features. We could move on to another feature. We could move on to trying to model like a home screen. Um, we could build. Do we want to look at the? Do we want to look at the Figma spec and see what we have in mind? Log in with browser. Let's do that. So here is our Figma spec. If you haven't seen it, it's beautiful. I worked so hard on this. Um, I spent a lot of time trying to get used to like Figma, and we got this nice design system with all the colors and typography, which we've since changed because, why not throw everything out the window? Um, we could start building um, the Material U plugin is coming. I can't wait to try it out. I can't wait for some of that support to come to Compose because I would love to actually use like Material U for a lot of this stuff. Um, I think relevant to this, maybe we should go back to trying to get the end-to-end experience working. Um, edge-to-edge experience. I think that would be really cool. Let's do that. Let's merge this. Then we can say we have everything in development, and then we can start on a new adventure of edge-to-edge UI. Let's move this here. Okay, so shut up, Matt. I was so nice to you earlier. I avoided the joke, and you didn't give me the same courtesy. Can't believe you. 1.1.0 beta release of Compose will be. Oh, yeah, that's possible. I believe that. Um, all right, so let's try to fix what we did last time. So we looked at the accompanist insets library for Android, and this is really like a a Compose library, also by Google, but not built into Compose, for dealing with insets and like the system bars. So we can use this to help us get like a nice edge-to-edge experience. So let's do that. I'm just jumping all the way down to the part we care about, which is like adding the implementation. So let's add this into our project, and then we'll go through the documentation on how to get this working. And hopefully we can get something working that we couldn't get done last week. Oh, hey, we added accompanist insets UI last week. We just didn't get it working? Did we reference it anywhere? Oh. Oh, we used it for the local window insets thing, but we didn't use it for the edge-to-edge experience. So let's talk about how we do that. So, how do we do that? Well, the first thing is we need to make sure we call provide window insets um, when we set up our content. So we do that inside our main activity. Um, inside the TOA screen, we can do provide window insets and then put our code inside of here. Now, there's other important information. So for your view hierarchy to be able to receive insets, you need to make sure to call window compat.set decor fit system windows from your activity. You also need to set the system background bounds to be transparent, which you can do with the system UI controller. So let's do all of those things. First, we're going to call this because they say we need to call it. And then we're also going to, I think system UI controller is a separate library. It is. So let's add the system UI controller. This will allow us to set the system bar at the top and at the bottom to be transparent, which we need to in order to get that true like edge-to-edge experience, right? This is also version 20 now, so let's update those. And then the way they do that is actually we can basically see it here. Um, you get a reference to a system UI controller, and then you just have this side effect where you say set system bar's color, set it to transparent. We use the dark icons based on the theme. So like if we're in a light theme, we need dark status bar icons. If we're not, we can use the light status bar icons. Hey Illustrator, welcome to the stream. So all we're going to do is take this idea and we're just going to paste that basically right where we set content at the top. Um, import everything. And Illustrator, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Let's get that out of there. Cool. So if we run this as is, we will get an edge-to-edge experience. Let me hide this. But it won't be perfect because we'll basically see like an issue where the sign up button will bleed into this bottom portion here, which we don't want. We want to be able to basically want the screen to begin where it does, but also to have this be not black, but like have it show like our background color. So we'll talk about how to fix that once this runs and I know that it works. Um, oh, there we go. Okay, so we see we got the edge-to-edge experience up here. Um, actually, the sign up button did work out fine. Oh, and I think that's because we changed a little bit about, yeah, we changed the size of the um, words. We changed the size of the app logo, but it is possible for the sign up button to like bleed into this bottom portion here. So one thing we might want to do is if we go into our login screen, we need to find login content. So we've got this inputs column and we set padding around our column. So like we set start and end padding. Oh, whoops. But then more specifically, okay, so the way we did this, yeah, we did this. I remember why we did this because we wanted to manage like wait, why aren't you scrolling? You're supposed to. Oh, I guess I thought this would scroll. Oh no, we're having issues with the scrolling again. I shouldn't have merged that PR, should I? How much time since today's stream started? 2.5 hours. We're at 2 hours and 34 minutes. You know, I'm sick of this login screen. But I think we could merge this code that gives us the edge-to-edge experience. Um, Matt's been waiting for me to move on. I wanted it to work, but I think we gotta move on and we gotta come back to it another day. Um, so let's push this up though. I think this is cool. Um, and we can add after documentation. We moved into more tinkering. Uh, we can come back to it. But let's add just this edge-to-edge stuff, and then, okay, we'll move on to something else. So what do we want to do next? I mean, the logical step is like building out our home screen, right? Um, sorry, just checking messages. Uh, and there's obviously like a lot to that. And um, all right, can I run a poll? I don't want to run a poll, but let's get some like unofficial votes in chat. So here's 3 things I think we could do that are not playing with the login screen for like the 4th stream in a row. No, we don't need to run a poll. We can just talk about it in chat. But let me give you my 3 ideas. So we can write some composed UI tests for the login screen. So we're technically still working on it, but we're not like fine tuning the UI. We're talking about composed testing. Or if we go into the home screen, I guess it's like, do we want to focus on the UI of the home screen? Or do we want to focus on like the data layer of the home screen and talk about like starting to model tasks and um, building out a task repository and things like that? So I guess it's like login UI testing, home screen UI, home screen business logic. Those are like my three ideas. And if anyone has like a preference of something they think would be cool for us to work on. All right, we got home screen UI. Any other votes? Edge to edge experience, but not optimized yet. Ooh, we got contention. UI and then logic. That's fair. Um, why is that? That's not home cost design. Um, I am home screen UI. Okay, all right. We're gonna do UI. Okay, so here's what we're going to try to build. Um, we'll circle back to testing, must ship. I've also done like over history, not for this project, but I've done so many streams on Compose UI testing. If you exclamation point YouTube, you can scroll back and find this. Nope, we're working on home screen UI, Prince. You made the decision. If it goes wrong, everyone can blame Prince. So, all right, let's dig into the UI. So, do I have tickets for this? We had all this project setup intended, but we didn't really follow through. Like we documented app architecture, boom, done. Um, I didn't even give this a a project. Let's do this. This goes into design and branding. Um, let's go to that design and branding project. Okay, wait. So home screen, we do have something here. Cool. So we have nice. Okay, we have a lot of tasks already. Um, because the very first stream for this, we did a bunch of planning and made a bunch of GitHub issues. So let's start with number 9, the task list item UI. So here's how I did it. I basically made it like a card view, and there's like some text about what the task is, and some buttons, like a button row for like reschedule and done. So let's try to build this out. Um, we are going to, I'm going to branch this off of development so I don't confuse myself. Let's do TOA 9, home screen list item. All right, so let's get started. We will go into our main folder. We talked about package structure earlier today, so we know exactly what to do. We're going to make a package called home. Okay, I'm going to refactor this, and I'm going to tell you a something that I like think is really common, but I've learned with my own work application that I loathe. We're tempted to call this a home screen because it's like the main landing page. But like that's just such like a vague term, and the home screen ends up taking in so much crap. So like I don't want this to be vague. I want to refactor this, and we're going to call this task list. Because like home is vague, home could mean anything. What I really want here is I have a task list. So within task list, we have a UI package. And so here we can put task list item. And this will be a composable task list item. So we do kind of have to think about like domain logic because we would need like a data class for a task that gets passed into this function. But let's skip that for now and let's just get something on the screen. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to add my preview function. We're going to add TOA theme, and then this will be task list item. Let's get a preview going, and let's just start building out the UI from what we know. So the first thing is we've got a card. Um, do we want it to be a clickable card? I suppose it could be, but let's not worry about like clicking for now. It's got a card, and then I've got did I put like so the way I did this, can I go why can't I click on this? Okay, and I put 24 padding inside the card. So let's do oh, but I want the padding on the inside. So let's have a column in here. We'll have like our text followed by the button row below it. And the column we can give uh, padding 24 dibs. And okay, so what's the first thing? Well, the first thing is some text, and we'll just say, what did I say here? Cleared my office space. We're just gonna throw this in here. And I think my idea when I built this out is this is just the, oh, I made this H, why did I make this H3? We're gonna use the default text style for now. Um, let's just look at this preview and see what it looks like. Kind of do this iteratively here. We'll probably want to break this down. We'll probably want to actually make a core UI component, which is like a text button. Um, although there is an out-of-the-box compose button, text button. But more specifically, you can't um, uh, um, just thinking about text styling, but I'm getting ahead of myself again. Okay, this is a start. Um, the other thing, I guess, is I want this to fill the screen. So let's do fill max width here. And do I want these to be a fixed height? Or do I want them to be, they don't have to be a fixed height. Um, we could keep them minimal. Okay, this is good. So let's pull this out real quick. This will be task text. Um, and then below this, we need a row of text buttons. Let's type out the whole row and then let's clean up the code. Like I said, I want to get a preview that I know so that I know this works, and then we'll clean it up. So let's now do a row. Here we'll do text button. On click, we won't do anything yet. But here we'll do some text, and this will be capitalized. But then we can add another one, and this will be done. So those are our two buttons. Let's put, what did I do here? 12. Let's do 12 spacing between them. So horizontal arrangement will be arrangement dot spaced by 12 dips. We also want, oh, well, I also want these to be end. Can I do like, can I do this? I can't. Hmm. Um, so if I run this as is, the problem is my button row will be aligned to the left. Um, yeah, so that's aligned to the left. I don't like that. I want it to be, ooh, also, why is it so, oh, probably because text button provides some padding. Let's shrink this down to 16. That's a little better. Um, so we need to figure out how to get our button row. Also 12 is a lot. So you can, but okay, so you see how I have this arrangement dot spaced by? This is basically kind of like a divider. So there is arrangement dot end, which would give me what I wanted, but what I lose from this is wait, why didn't that work? Oh, you're right, because I need to make it so. Oh, nice. I'm glad that worked, Mocker. You're right. Actually, let's actually here's a better way to think about it. So if I take the column and I say the column should align things to the end, then I fix one problem and that like the buttons get shifted to the end, but then so does this text. But the way I can fix that is I can make the text um, the width of the card, which is actually what I would want. Um, so that like if it's really long, it wraps. And so now this is actually a lot closer to what I want. Um, I'm still not a huge fan of how much space these buttons add, but it's a good question about whether or not we should be changing that. And the reason I say I don't know if we should be changing that is because the they are small and material use standards. Yeah, but and they're like that because it increases the touch area, which is important for accessibility, right? And we do care about that. But it's like, so then should I get rid of the padding? Should I put the padding on the text itself? Let's see what that would look like. So let's get rid of the padding on the card or on the column. And let's say the task text specifically has like, let's maybe make it 16. So yeah, it's not massive. But then let's see what this would look like. So our buttons then will get punted right to the corners, but that's fine. That actually, all right, what do we think? Are they not too close to the corner? Hmm, I don't know. Like they're almost too close to the corner now. So let's meet in the middle. Let's put around the card, let's say we just want 8 dips. Let's see what this looks like for the buttons. And then we could still apply like another 8 on. Oh, this actually isn't. Okay. And then let's apply another 8 on the text itself. Okay. Okay, this is starting to be something I can run with. So let's clean up our code. We've got a done button. So let's put that in its own function. We've got a reschedule button. And let's move this whole thing into a button row. So now we've got nice small composables, and up at the top here, we think, cool, we have a card, it's got a column, which is our task text, and a button row. Very clean and readable code here. Um, but like I said, we do want to consider like uh how this is gonna work when we actually power it. So um um so I guess what I want is I would put a new package here. Let's actually go back. So we would do task list.domain.model, and here we can put a task. And let's just make this a data class. and have it have like a description, which is a string. So this will probably get a lot more complicated as we get into home screen business logic, but let's have like a domain model that uh, defines what like a task is. Um, Now there is a debate again around like different models, like should my task list item consume a task? Or what some people like to do is they have like their data model, which is like just like the bare bones information about about a model, and then they'll have like a display model, which is like that item, but like user-friendly strings, color, stuff like that. Maybe something we'll need in the future, but maybe over-engineering for now. Any plans for modularization? Possibly when we have like more features and code. It's something we can look into, but I'm trying not to like over-engineer it right now. Um, so we've got our task. Let's also add like on reschedule clicked to be like a button click callback. Why don't I make a course about compose with clean architecture? Because that feels like that would take a lot of time. Um, but I do have like a YouTube series on something really cool that I'm working on that's going to come out in the future. But I haven't really considered like a Udemy sort of thing. Okay, so we've got, we'll just use defaults here um, to make like our previews easier. Or, well, what did I do in the login? Did I say that was okay? Uh, oh, okay. Never mind. I have set the standard that we don't like default arguments. This is how I normally feel, but sometimes I change my mind on that. Um, so the task text will basically be like, that is where we'll pass in the description. The button row should also have on reschedule clicked, on done clicked. So let's add these. Um, we also need to rename our reschedule button to reschedule button. This will take in an on click, and we will pass that into our text button. The same thing happens down here. We need an on click and pass that into our button. Um, Pass text. This consumes some text. All right, so now we're close to having this to be like reusable. Um, we need to update our preview. Description will be in my office space because this is like a never-ending task. I'll never mark this as done. Um, and then for the click listeners in our preview, we can just supply like empty lambdas. Um, okay, so that's it. We should use string resources here. Reschedule. Um, we should also like, I've kind of got this implicit situation where I expect it to be uppercase, but to me, like the text button should automatically uppercase the text. So this is why I debated making like a TOA text button that would handle that capitalization for us. Um, let's make sure this preview still works, and then we could do something like that. Looks like it does. Nice. So let's make our own core component for this. So we have core UI components. So let's put in a TOA text button. And Let's put a preview in here. But what does this text button need? Well, we need our on click. Well, first let's put our text, which will be a string, and then we have what happens on click. And that's all we need for now. And so what we can put in here is we can put in our text button, but specifically I want to override the text to be text.to uppercase locale.current. Sorry, that was my Discord, in case that confused anybody else. Um, and I'm just gonna quit that for now. That wasn't important. Um, and we'll add our preview. On click here, we can just do nothing. So we've got like our own um, custom version of a text button that will capitalize the text. So let's talk about that. This is our custom version of a text button. Whoops, that ensures the supplied text is capitalized. Um, so then we can go down back in the task list item. So here, let's do TOA text button. Text equals this. On click equals on click. And do the same thing over in reschedule button. So then what I can do is I don't have to rely on like my string resources being the right case. You know, these can be lowercase, and then I can still be confident that my preview renders correctly, that they will be uppercase. Oops, they're not yet, but let's wait for this to actually rebuild. Loading, loading, loading. Nice. Okay, so now this looks good. All right. So um, this displays a list item for a given task. Um, I don't think we have anything else to do here. So this is the first part of our home UI. So let's add this. Maybe we can do some testing along the way if we wanted to. Um, because we could write some tests for this card before we merge it. That would be the good test-driven development thing to do. But let's just start here. Um, adding test list item. Stream history will need to be updated, which I did not do. Let's do that. Oh, good luck in Rocket League Mocker. After words. Oh, this is gonna merge conflict with the other one. You really want to learn how to test view models. This project is actually a great way to get started on that. After I make this pull request, I can walk you through some of the testing we already have. Building out the home screen. So I'm just stubbing out the stream history, but I will of course update this later on. So yeah, updating stream history. Let's get this pull request going, and then while the actions are running, I will walk through the testing that exists in this project. All right, let's look at all sorts of testing. We can do that. I think that's actually pretty good. We can do some testing for our home screen list item. We can talk about how we do like a unit testing of an individual composable. Um, for handling link them button. So let's call this assign these labels. Give this design. This is a new component. This will go into the home screen. Link this to the issue number 9. Create pull request. And I think we can merge our other pull request for the edge-to-edge experience. Yeah, let's do that. Great. This will already actually and I'm already gonna have merge conflicts. Let me just resolve those now. Sorry, I want to get them out of the way. Um, sorry. I'm just cleaning stuff up here. Lots of admin work in this project, but I think it's helpful. A lot of people say they really appreciate the stream history file for being able to go back and see what we worked on and find. Thank you. I do need to hydrate. It's hot as hell in here. This hoodie is not doing me any favors, so. All right. Testing. We wanted to talk about testing. So I'll just point this out. I don't know if I'll walk through it, Illustrator, but exclamation point GitHub in the chat to get a link to this repository if you're not familiar with it. But then if you look at login view model, there is a login view model test class that interacts with a login view model robot. So you can kind of walk through that what that code looks like. And if you want to know more about how that works, I was really good about this. Oh, I missed it. I didn't include it. Hold on. Um, one of the TOA videos was just doing the words, doing the testing on the login view model. So let me get that video in here for you. Implementing view models with test-driven development. Yep. This is a really cool thing where we worked on tests for the login view model. So do check that one out. And I will make sure that that is in our stream history as well. Also, another self-plug that I made at the beginning, if you're not subbed to the YouTube channel, please do. But I think that oh yeah, we are 6 away. We are 6 people away from 1,000 subscribers on the channel. So if there are 6 of you in the chat who are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you can click that link or exclamation point YouTube to find a link. Share it with any of your Android dev friends. It's where I post all the stream recaps and other YouTube specific content. It means a lot that almost 1,000 of you are learning something from me. I really appreciate that. Um, so yeah. Um, oh my God, why do I do this to myself every time? Uh, Hopefully that doesn't have like conflicts. I keep forgetting that I modified something in this is not the project, in the GitHub UI that I screw everything up. But okay, so we can say we'll leave task list item in progress, but oh, I see. I thought you said you wanted to learn more. Why are you not using Spotless with KT-Lit? I'm actually not too familiar with Spotless. What does it give me that KT-Lit by itself doesn't? Um, do you have an example? Um, Yeah, like why do I need spotless instead of just KT-lint by itself? I don't know the answer to that. Um, I never had an issue using KT-lint by itself. Also, Illustrator, I'm glad they were helpful. I thought you mentioned oh, I see. I reread it now and I said, do you really learn well how to test? I thought you said you wanted to learn how to test. I misread it. Um, but yeah, we could do some compose testing. Um, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's worth it yet. Like we can show how to test like an individual composable, like um our card, but maybe it would be better once we actually have like a full login screen to work with. Um, so I might put that off. So or home screen. So let's start with or let's move on. Now that we have the list item, let's build out the list UI real quick. So this will be number 10. Let's switch to a new branch. Um, and really, so this actually won't, this could be a short PR because we could make this like a task list, right? And well, okay. I guess it's a little trickier than I thought, but let's just stub out like our template real quick. Um, so what does our task list need to consume? Well, we need tasks, right? That's first and foremost. But then we need to proxy up that like reschedule and done button clicked, right? And while it's fine in the list item to just like have no parameters inside that lambda to just say like, hey, this was clicked. Um, but if I'm surfacing it out of here, it actually a little more specific, right? Like I need to um I need to know what task we're trying to reschedule. Um, so here, the on reschedule clicked will actually like pick in a task. It can still return unit, but we need to pass in, what task was clicked. And I guess I'm thinking whether or not I should go back and use the same method signature inside the list item. Like, because that would make some stuff a little cleaner. Like if we're like, hey, like task was clicked. Um, but then that would just be um, and then like I guess here in our button row, we could be a little more specific and say, on reschedule clicked with the task. So we can call it with the task that created this um, list item. There might be a technical reason why this isn't like the cleanest solution, but I don't think it's bad. So well, let's roll with it for now. Um, a good question. Why not task ID? Um, I think because task ID is can be very strict and like it can come to bite me in the future. Like if in a click listener I need more information than just task ID. Um, like sure, wherever I handle the clicked task, I could take that ID and look it up. But by being able to pass around the whole thing, this does kind of just like future proof it. Um, and I suppose, yeah, if we ever, the only other reason I would change my mind is if we ever decide we need to dig real hard into like performance. Um, and we don't want to pass around a ton of information in principle, but right now task is a data class with a single string, so I'm not too worried about it. Um, but yeah, really just future proofing it. Like ID is super rigid. If I need any additional information about a task, I'll be glad that I'm passing the whole object around. Um, but that could change if we in the future if it comes up. Um, all right, so our task list. takes in the tasks and what to do if like we try to reschedule or we completed one task. So with that, let's add a lazy column and we can actually do a really nice, we can use the items extension function here and pass in tasks. And this will call back with each task. And then I could just do task list item. Task on reschedule clicked, on done clicked. I'm gonna add names here to make sure that's right. Yep. We let's look at our Figma design again now. Because it looks like we have, okay, so we have 24 padding around and also in between each item. So content padding, padding values 24. Um, and I can do vertical arrangement and I can do spaced by 24. So that gets the same. And that's all our task list is. A lazy column with some padding and it displays a list of items. And so let's do that here. So what I like to do in previews, I'm just gonna do like I'm just gonna map like 10 tasks, right? And then I can here I can just do like task description will be like task with like the index. So this is a quick way of like generating a list of tasks to show in my compose preview. So tasks will be tasks. On reschedule clicked, we don't care. On done clicked, we don't care. Let's see how this preview looks. I think I would do the unit task conversion here because like it almost gives the impression that even though each item is about only one task, some other task can be clicked, if that makes sense. But just so you would do it the way I originally did it, where the list item doesn't have task reference. Um, I feel like that makes sense for sure. Like it does prevent me from calling it with, from this class, calling it with the wrong task. Um, okay, you're right. I'm convinced. That was my original thought. And then I went for something simpler, but I'm glad someone called me out. You're right. There's definitely a better way to do it. Mm, but it's beautiful. Why do I keep wanting 24 padding? 24 is obnoxious. Um, let's go with 16. And also I should let's make this a string resource. Do I have a dimensions file? Let's make this a dimension. Oh, I have screen padding already. Um, let's make a new one here. Let's call it list padding. And let's make this one 16. So, and then what I want to do is here, I want to say dimension resource um, list padding. Come on. There we go. Um, and let's watch this rebuild and see how this looks. Oh, but I guess while it's building, although I'm probably going to ruin it, let's make that change that Raphael mentioned, because I think that's really good. And right, so we could say that it's the list, this task list is responsible for. I can code review something. I'll do something. You would be the first person to redeem that. Um, I thought it was a cool idea, um, but no one has really taken me up on that offer yet. I got the idea from watching a lot of like esports people who are like they'll do like game review and stuff, and I'm like, why not do the same thing on a coding stream? Why not get like someone else's like professional opinion? Um, you have time. You could do this any day. Um, oh, you're asking me if I want to do it now. I mean, I could, um, but I'm also fine doing it like early on next stream or something. It's up to you. Uh, it also depends on like how much code we're looking at. You can do it. You can do it. But I also tell everyone a pro tip, and I think you already know this, is that like if you DM me on Twitter, I do it for free. Um, the only thing I like about the channel points is like, I don't know, it incentivizes people to like um because I'm like stopping what I'm doing. And like I'm fine with it. That's why it's a channel reward, but I don't want to just like have people freely ask me in chat because I also want to get through stuff. But if you've earned enough channel points, then you can absolutely stop me in my tracks and make me code review. But I always tell people like you can just DM me on Twitter and I will help you with your code for free anytime. Or at least when I have availability. All right, we've made our list. And now all right, this one will be for Raphael. And I will have to go refill this in a moment. But so yeah, we can do the mapping here. And this is actually really good. Like we could write a test to um uh like ensure that when I click on a specific list item that the lambda is fired with the correct task. Um that's definitely a test we could write in the future, but I wouldn't worry about it right now. Um yeah, we've got our task list. So um let's make this its own pull request. And we'll push this. Let's see if our other open pull request is ready to be merged. It is. Um, we also need, just to make sure it doesn't yell at me, we need to make sure we come back and we fill in task list. Okay, and then now that we have like ooh, I have a build failure because my static analysis checks failed. Let's figure out what went wrong. Hey, Calusi, how are you doing? A magic number. Oh, this is fair. Um, I want to look at the detect rules for magic number and see if I can do. You know what? I reference this a lot. I'm gonna put 10 in my list of magic numbers we could ignore. So if I do another like 1 to 10 mapping, um, like in a preview, that's fine. You became a father yesterday. Congratulations. That's huge. Amazing. I'm so happy for you. That sounds so exciting. So you can afford to be up late while I stream because you're not sleeping much? Is that what's going on? To display list stats. Um, we'll also call this design. This goes into home screen. Pull request. I hope they're doing okay. I'm sure that it's just because of standard protocols, hopefully. Um, I know that people have to stay for like a day or two. I hope that everyone is healthy and doing well. Um, they're okay. That's great. Will we get to see pictures on Twitter at some point? Would love to see pictures. Um, this can be done. Um, I didn't, I guess as part of number 10, um, so we've got the list, right? We've got our task list. I think the next thing we could work on is like, so we've got like task list content, or rather. So let's look at the Figma designs, right? So we've got like this screen that's gonna have like the header and the task list and like the fab. Um, so let's start to structure that. Um, I'm gonna put that inside. Oh, I should have made a documentation on naming conventions for this project. That would be a great thing to add later as well. Um, but let's call this one task list content. And this will be like you know, this will need to take in a task list view state. So let's define that. Um, like basically, that's totally fair. I don't blame you. Did we hit it? Did we hit the milestone? We did it! Thank you all for your help. This is super exciting. What a milestone. Um, I do plan to celebrate. I have uh very cool videos planned that I want to get out soon. We will celebrate this milestone with something very exciting. I can't wait to tell you all about it. I'm keeping it on the down low for now because it's that good. We're going all out for this like 1K milestone with something very cool. So I'm keeping it close, keeping my cards close to the table on that one, but you will not be disappointed. Um, so let's talk about our task list view state. So thank you everybody. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Um, we're going to keep with our arguments. 1,000 Captain America hoodies, yep. From previous streams of using a sealed class for like our view state. Um, for task list, I think what I want to do for now, so we would have like, let's do like loading content error, right? So loading, we don't need much. That's just task list view state. Um, I don't really like calling it content. We can call it like, um, do we want to call it loaded? Might be controversial. That will take a list of tasks. Whoops, that's not what I want. Um, and then we also want to consider an error state. Yeah, I would check like the official Android documentation um for like a good like first steps guide. I don't have anything. I mean, I try to make all of my repositories extremely helpful, but I don't really have anything that's like day one kind of Android work. It's something I probably should invest some time in one day. Um, and then there, message. This will be UI text. Is that what we called it? Yep. Nice. Tactless view state. Yeah, so Udacity has an Android development course where you work on this app called Sunshine. I'm pretty sure it still exists. I cannot recommend that course enough. if it does still exist. When I was learning Android like 4 or 5 years ago, I did the Sunshine course and I loved it. I like remember being at my university and like I would spend my lunch break like between classes like just grinding that course and watching those videos. And I loved the people who were just involved in that course. I just like I don't know, it clicked for me and it like really pushed like my love of Android and I think about that course all the time. I loved it. Um, so we defined our view state. In case anyone's paying attention to the YouTube stuff, we made a view state sealed class for task list, which has loading, loaded, and error state. And so now we're going to go back to our task list content, which will consume the view state. Now this also needs the click listeners for like a task to know that like a task was clicked. Whoops, and on done clicked task. Let me check. I have to sign in to verify if this is it, but I'm checking. Yes, this is the one. Now, granted, I have to give a disclaimer. I took this like, I'm not joking, like 5 years ago, like 2016. Oh, no, even longer than that, actually. Oh, God. Okay, so I took it like 6 or 7 years ago. So I'm sure that the content has changed. Um, but I hope that the quality has maintained at some point. Ooh, that's a really cool drive. Also worth checking that out. I have considered doing like a intro to Android live stream, like plan it out like well in advance, pick like a good time frame, um, and doing it like not like this, but doing it like day one, like you don't know anything about coding. How can you get into Android development and find something you like? It's an idea that I had of doing one day. And it would be really cool on Twitch to like be able to get like real time feedback from people. But let's see this. Um, hmm. So sorry, I'm just stressing. So I actually think looking at this, you could think of this as like a toolbar, right? And then we've got the fab down here. So material design actually has something for us, or compose has something for us called a scaffold. Um, Now there's an accompanist version that I'm going to use because I think it gives us uh some nicer like accompanist insets related work. And within this scaffold, we could specify like a floating action button. So here we could put like floating action button. Um, so let's add this. Let's add the floating action button. Um, no, not that floating action button. And what do we need? We need to give it an on click. Uh, this will come in the future. Um, but then in here, I think we put an icon, which we could icons.default.add. Um, Content description, we could put add task. Let's extract this out into a string resource. Um, and then let's get a preview going before I forget. Uh, I will do the preview parameter provider thing again, but for now, let's just go back to our task list. I'm gonna copy this idea, um, and use it to generate like a list of tasks because I want to see what the loaded state would look like. Um, task list content, view state. Okay, so we've got a scaffold. Our floating action button. Now we should actually um, we should say that this is only here if view state is loaded. Um, that would be the only time we want the floating action button. Actually, I wonder if the whole scaffold makes sense to be in the loaded state. Um, I don't know. We'll keep this out like we'll keep everything in its own like small composables that we've been working with, and so we can refactor easily in the future if we want. So like again, within our scaffold, we could say, oh, if view state is loaded, then we want to add a task list. Tasks will be view state.tasks, and reschedule clicked, and done clicked. Um, yeah, let's see. Whoops. Oh, and then I have to add the lambdas that I don't care about down here. Um, let's see what this preview looks like. I may also need to modify the background color on this because I think my surface color is uh not what I want it to be over here. I need to refill my water, but I might just power through. I don't know how late I plan to stream today. Oh, maybe this is right actually. Okay, that background color looks right. Okay, this actually looks pretty good. It looks a lot like the Figma design. Okay, I'm happy with this. Um, I think actually now that I'm looking at it here, I think another thing I would change about the buttons is I might make this text size smaller. Um, I don't know what it's using by default, but like that button is like really large. The alternative is I could make the tasks this a little larger. Um, like if the buttons look good, maybe I need to make the task text a little larger. Um, I don't know. We can play around with UI stuff later. Matt will get mad at me if I spend too much time digging into the UI. Um, so what else do I need to refactor out of this? Well, we are going to want to know on add button clicked. Am I wrong? And so we want this to consume an onclick inside our add task button, so we can actually trigger that. No, this is what you're here for? Oh, I see, I see. It's just the login UI is what you're not here for. Got it, got it. Um, Also, I'm wondering if like, I don't know, I'm seeing all of these tasks with the same button and it feels kind of repetitive and like maybe there's a better way, but I think that's something we can also revisit in the future as well. But let's roll with it for now. Awesome. So this is actually coming together really well. Um, let's run with this. Let's start with this. Okay. Let's do it. Let's roll with this. Adding task list content. Um, so let's hmm. I suppose we could build out the toolbar um in the same portion. That would be cool. Let's do that. Let's add the toolbar. Um, top bar. So again, this is wait, why is this? Did I really merge something on the... Oh, okay. Yeah, I was working on this in GitHub. That's fine. Almost as easy as doing it. So I'm actually like I've done a stream on swipe to dismiss with compose. I also did a section on code with the Italians about this, but I have learned to not really like swipe to dismiss because it's not discoverable. Like it's really hard to tell people like, hey, you could swipe this. Even though like in some ways um we've come accustomed to it, right? Like Gmail and other apps, but it's not discoverable and it's actually not friendly to accessibility tools. Like if you're using a screen reader over something that has swipe to dismiss, like then your screen reader is either not able to tell you about the button because it's hidden, or it's telling you about a button and like the order of things that are read out is like complicated and hard to follow. So I'm kind of against it. Uh, I'm fine with two buttons, but honestly, like if it becomes a lot, I'll just add an overflow menu. Which, like, sure, the three dots feels like kind of archaic in some ways, and arguably, the three dots also mean things are undiscoverable because it requires someone to click on it. But I think like you then have to balance like, well, how many items do you have? So many undiscoverable features. For example, the iOS entirety. Yeah. Um, I mean that's why Android got rid of the hamburger menu because the navigation drawers like were totally undiscoverable. Like when you just threw in new items down there. So let's add our top bar, which is also I think this whole scaffold should be wrapped around. So let me refactor. I'm going to call this loaded tasks. Um, Loaded tasks content. And yeah, we're going to, who's that? Sorry. I'm going to wrap this whole thing around the loaded state. So I don't have to um, like have a bunch of if statements inside of all of this. So like here, so now for the floating action button, we can get rid of that if statement. Um, for the task list, we can get rid of that if statement because we could say this is only called um, um, when we're in the loaded state. So let's go to our top bar. So there is already a toolbar. There is a toolbar widget in Compose or app bar. Oh, it's called a top app bar, but I don't know. Do I want that? Um, I don't know if that's what I want because here this is almost like a custom thing. There is elevation, but I think we could just make our own custom thing here and then do like yeah. But like I don't know if I want it to be a top app bar because really this is my own thing with a custom like layout. So let's make it our own thing. Um and then words we can we can figure out the elevation. Um Surface? I guess it could be a surface. Yeah, we can make it a surface. And then in here we'll have a column. Um, I'm gonna pull this out into its own thing. Um, call it schedule top bar, calendar top bar. I don't know. Task list toolbar. That's what we can call it. Um, okay. So what's in here? Well, we've got an icon, which will be keyboard arrow left. Content description for this one. Let's just say I'm gonna put a to do in here because I need to think about this. Let's put some text in here. And then another icon, which will be keyboard arrow right. Um, so there's actually quite a bit that we need here. So this icon, how do I inspect? Oh, so this actually, I want to make this an icon button. Um, whoops, hold on. Let's take this, wrap it in an icon button. We'll worry about the to-do click later. I just want to get something into the preview. Oh, you're right. This needs to be a row. Good catch. That will be weird when I go to run this. Um, I really want, so for this, um, this would have a weight of 1. Um, can I set text align? Right, so, and then I want the text to be aligned in the center though. I also want, this doesn't need to be capitalized. Let's just build this. Let's see where we're at so far. This is the benefit of composed previews, right? Um, oh, build and refresh. Hmm. Waiting for Gradle. Classics. Um, okay. Well, so, ooh, um, all right. So I noticed a couple things. Actually, I noticed a lot of things. Let me clear them up by setting our surface color to primary, which is what I wanted. Um, so not only is our row wrong, but there's actually a bit to think about here. So, um, in this case, like, our content is, okay, I know one. So one problem is that, our content here renders all the way to the top of the screen. So it starts off showing up like behind this toolbar, right? Which we don't like. Um, I'm also wondering if I can, do I really need I'm wondering if I could avoid the surface and actually use the default toolbar, but we'll come back to that. Um, but really, I would expect there to be like some padding around um, this list so that it appears below that toolbar. And actually, this happens because this can happen in the scaffold because it passes you the padding values. And so what I would want is I would want to put a modifier on my task list to use that padding. So the scaffold will tell me, hey, here's the size of your toolbar. So this is padding you might want to consider adding onto like your task list. So we can do that like that, and then we just need to modify our task list to consume a modifier. And then apply it onto that lazy column. So if we refresh now, we still need to fix the row. That's a problem, but we can do that. Nice. So now we can see that our list appears below that top bar. We need to figure out the text thing. Um, so part of that is like, okay, one way we could do that is on our row, we can um, we can do a vertical arrangement or vertical alignment and then do alignment dot center vertically. And so this will make sure that our text is centered vertically within that row. Could appear there. The other thing is I want this toolbar to be a little bigger. Um, Now, does it need to be, what I do, 112? Not really. The reason I gave this a size of 112 is because that's twice the size of a standard toolbar. A standard toolbar is 56 dips. Um, uh, let's see what 112 actually looks like in the preview. Otherwise, maybe we look at whatever is in between 56 and 112 or something. Um, that would be 56 plus 28, right? So 56, 64, 84. Oh, yeah, okay, this is too big. So Figma always making things look better than they do on a real phone. Oops, wait, 184? Is that? Hold on. Is 84 really that small? Okay. No, that's right. Okay, 84. 84 doesn't look too bad. Um, we could make. Hmm. Well, one thing is this text needs to be bigger. Um, uh, let's go with like H3. Let's see what that gives us. Um, if our app has a lot of list items like Play Store, there's horizontal and vertical list. Is that use some custom view or just nested recycler view? No, that's fine. It's probably a nested recycler view, almost positive. Um, that's how I would build something like that. Okay, H3 is too big. Let's try H5 with the standard. Finally using H values. Yeah, I should set up my own. So previously we had like our own custom typography, but I got rid of it because it was causing me a bunch of pain. Okay, I actually kind of want to go in the middle. Um, but I guess one of the downfalls is this icon button is like these little icons are small. Um, okay, all right, this is not too bad. This is not too bad, but I want these icon buttons to be bigger. Um, what happens if I make them the same height? So, so I'm just gonna pull this out. 84. Um, and so I'm curious, what would happen if I made the icon button um, the same height? Yeah, modifier.size is what we need here. I don't know if I need to put it on the icon button or the icon. Let's try this and see what we get. And I'll also clean this up. We can extract this out even further. And I might, after I get this loaded design done, I might call it a night. We're hitting 4 hours. Um, okay, so that blew up the button, but not the icon inside of it. So let's take that modifier and put it on the icon instead. Um, this might cause me some issues around the padding. Um, let's find out. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay, this is actually closer to the Figma designs. Actually, it's almost, that's really good. That's really close. Okay. Um, that actually looks good. So we can run with this, but um, let's think about how we could clean this up. Well, I can pull this out into a private function, and I can call it toolbar uh, icon button, and this will have an icon, which will be, what does this give me? An image vector. We need an on click, which will be a unit. And then also we need, well, we'll need a content description. And yeah, let's just, um, shouldn't be a bit bold. It could be bold. We could make it bold. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna avoid refactoring this until the next stream because there's, oops, um, some more interesting work. Let's make it bold. Uh, um, but wait, that bold. Let's see how that looks. Um, and I think I might save refactoring the home screen for next time. Because I would want to break this up even smaller, and we could talk about how this affects the view state. Ah, beautiful, great suggestion. Um, I'm gonna do one more thing with typography. I want to know what text button uses as the text style. So let's go to TOA text button real quick. Um, oh, I see. So by default, or I think, actually, can I look at a text button? See if it does like some override. Um, it probably uses. Okay, so it has this provide text style. So we have like a button typography that we could um, modify here. But I think also what might be cool is okay, do I put on the text button? Um, there's also like for these icon buttons like this, I think you can do I just want to see what this looks like. There's a caption, which is usually like a smaller um sort of text, and I'm wondering what that looks like on here if we use like caption for the icon buttons. It might be too small. Um, what do we think? Did I make this too small, or do we like the caption text style better? It's kind of nice that they're smaller, but I don't know if I made them like too small, or if like the typography change is weird, and maybe I should have just I could make sure they have like the same fonts or something. I'm gonna go with this. It's a little smaller, and we'll definitely need to come back to typography at some point. But I do like that we broke away from the login screen and started down the rabbit hole of modifying the home screen a little better. All right, well, not modifying the home screen, building the home screen. Um, Adding toolbar and fab. I don't know if that was it, but let's do that. Um, okay. I think at 4 hours we can call it a night unless there's anything someone really wants to talk about, any recap of this stream you want to go over. Um, yeah, I probably would. I've tried. Let's find out if I can get that to work. Last time I tried to use screen copy on Android 12, it didn't work. Um, I want to just, we could try just for kicks to see if it would work now. Um, I think I may need to kill this emulator in order to test it. Um, let's do that. Let's kill this emulator. Um, Uh, did I miss a question? And oh yes, sorry. The question about the horizontal vertical list. Yeah, I think it's probably a nested recycler view. That's how I would build a screen like that. Um, yeah, this will be on YouTube soon. Don't worry. Um, KWA, definitely ask a question. I'm wrapping up now, so you're not interrupting me. Like we can just chat at this point. Ask me any questions anyone has, so that's totally fine. I'm just testing to see if I can mirror my pixel real quick. If this will work or not. Uh, no, it looks like I still have issues with this on Android 12. So um, I could run the preview on my phone, um, and then oh maybe I can do. Hold on. Um, let's connect to my phone. Maybe I could take a screenshot. Um, um, the width of your screen returns the wrong number. So what you want to check is um, well, you might be expecting like uh DP, like dependency independent pixels, but it might be returning you the actual number of pixels if you're getting the wrong number, or vice versa. So check the documentation on whatever call you're making, um, and figure out like what that unit is, because that unit might be like standard pixels, and so that's why you might be thinking you're getting the wrong number. Thanks, WebCheck. Um, so I think they're probably, if I had to guess, um, at what they're going to announce at Android Dev Summit, it might just be a new version of Compose and maybe something cool from the roadmap. So, like, they have a public roadmap for Jetpack Compose. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like this, like something about widgets, about Wear OS support, about Material U. Um, probably announcing some updates to like one of these upcoming streams. I'm also gonna check while we're talking to see if anyone. Uh, yeah, I'm excited to see the Figma plugin. Um, checking to see if there's anyone live that I could raid. Obviously, Lando is live. I want to see if there's any. Um, let's see what the Alt F4 stream is doing. Um, ah, ads. Okay, but there is another coding stream that's live right now, and I'm going to go ahead and raid their channel. We're going to go hang out with the Alt F4 stream, show them some love, hang out with them. I'll answer the. Seems like it's a number with from the navigation bar. Is it possible that okay, window manager could default display someone else? I don't know. Um, if you can send me like if you want to use like a Twitch whisper, you can like message me on Twitch or on another platform. I'm happy to help dig into this more with you. Um, I don't know the answer off the top of my head. It's been so long since I've done stuff with like getting the screen width, and I'd also like to hear more about what you're trying to do. Discord works. Let me get my Discord handle because I forgot what the numbers are behind my username. Um, because I think we'd have to talk more about exactly what you're trying to do, and that might impact like the real answer here. Um, yeah, of course. Um, one sec. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to you. I'm going to do this over here. Okay. I sent it to you in a whisper because I didn't want to post my Discord info public. I mean, I guess I don't mind because people could DM me on Twitter, but keeping my Discord a little private. So, thank you all for hanging out. I had a great time. Another long 4 hour stream. Oh, I'm sorry, consumer. We're wrapping up now. But thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Um, that's also a really good question, Illustrator. We could talk about that before I go. So, a lot of people, um, Matt, you're still here. Curious about your thoughts on this, actually. I know a lot of streamers have like their own Discord, and I've thought about that. And like, on one hand, I feel weird about having like something like a Discord or like something centered around me necessarily, or at least like a community space like that that's like centered around me. But another thing is like, I know that some people out there, that there are like other Android Discords. And so then I'm wondering, like, I mean, to me, when I see like a lot of like streamers have their own Discord, like, you're just kind of duplicating the same crowds and stuff. And like, would it make sense to start a new Discord, or would it make more sense to find ones that exist and like amplify those and start getting involved in those? Yeah, I'll talk to Matt offline. But that's for everyone else. That's the debate I've been having. Is like, would it be better for me to find great because I know that there are people out there fostering Android Discord communities, and like, should I just get involved with those, or does it make more sense to sort of foster my own community? I don't know if there's a right answer, but that is the debate that I'm having, Illustrator, and I will let you know what I decide. But I do think that getting involved in a Discord Android community, whether it is one that I start or whether I get involved with one that is already out there, is something I would like to do. I just don't know what shape that's going to take yet. Um, yeah, maybe something we can talk about next week. But yeah, all right. I'm getting kind of hangry and exhausted, so let's go raid the Alt F4 stream, and I will see you all here next Wednesday. Thank you all so much for joining me.